No. Hello, everyone. I have with me Jun Yao, who is a graduate of our program at Lehigh. But more importantly, I wanted him to tell us a little bit first how, what his course of studies was, and some of the degrees that he got, and why he got them, and how he was able to fit it into his program of studies, first of all. So, John, up to you.
Thank you, Professor Zoro. Yeah, hello everyone. I graduated from Lehigh in 2016, and I joined in 2014 in this MSAF program. Now it's called Financial Engineering, much better name. And yeah, I really loved my experience in Lehigh, especially in this program, because you have three parts: the finance, the engineering side, and also the math side. All of them are related to each other, and all of them are important. And directly related to what I done in my first job, second job, or third job, I'm a modeler or structurer in the securitization side, which a cash flow model. So a lot of people, they use VBA, Excels, or other tools to model the cash flows of the underlying assets or the derivatives. So one of the most important course I took from Lehigh is the fixed income, which tell me all the projects in the fixed income course, they need you to use Excel or other program language to modeling the cash flows, do the pricing, calculate the derived price based on your cash flow, which is like 99% of the same work in the real business world. So I strongly suggest that if you want to go to any fixed income area, debt market, or the securitization. And then move to the next step is about how I got my first job.
Oh, well, could you tell us, you also got the CFA and the FRM, I believe? How did you manage all that?
Oh, sure. So I started my CFA separate. First is about the CFA. I started in 2000, I would say 2014. Actually, before I came to Lehigh, I got my level 1. Then I tried to get the level 2 at the same time when I was in Lehigh, but I failed because the program is so tough. You don't even have time to prepare for it. Especially, I was trying to try to pass the level 2 in the first summer, but since I got the internship, I don't have the time to prepare for it. So sorry, I failed. But
that's okay.
Yeah, but that's life. I keep trying because I know it's gonna help you not only just in your work to make your resume looks pretty, but also it's a working process. So during the entire process, you have the opportunity to look at each part of the financial work, not just the work you are working on or the program you are studying. So I keep trying the level 2, level 3 after I graduate from Lehigh. And my first job, which is not a investment banking or Big Four or consultant work. So you got some kind of work-life balance. So after work, you can find some time to do the study. That's how I, passed the CFA, and then I moved to my second job. Okay. And for the FRM, it's a totally different story because the FRM is the topics is very similar to what we learned from Lehigh, this program. So you should take it immediately or at the same time after you graduate from this program. Then you will find the level 1 super easy. Everything has been taught on the classes. And all what we learn is more advanced than what they need you to know. So yeah, I did the level 1 in 2016 December and do the level 2 the next year summer. It's very smooth path. Nothing
okay,
special.
so you get a job at MIAC. How did you get the job at MIAC when you started? First job.
Yep. So yeah, after I joined the Lehigh, enter Lehigh, I keep do some interview and like applying some jobs through both the LinkedIn, the company's website, and also the career site within the Lehigh. Now it's called Handshake, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone's using Handshake, but at that time the Lehigh is an independent website which give you all the alumni. They will post their openings in that system. And I applied through that system and get the interview, the on-site interview in Lehigh, which is just one round. And you got 2 people interviewed at the same time. That's it. About like 20 to 30 minutes interview, and I got it. I got the offer.
Of course. All right. So,
Yeah, so I joined them in the 2015 summer, and it's their regular summer internship program. You got 15 kids come to the company at the same time, and everyone will be assigned to a different group. And at that time, I was being assigned to the what's called the commercial hold on team, and later they also expanded to the structured products team. So my boss was a MD. He is very experienced in the fixed income area, and he knows how to use different kind of structuring tools of how to do the valuation. So he just, at that time, I was doing pretty good because he gave me a project about how to value a portfolio of mortgage, and I start from beginning to the end. I used VBA to do all the loops and also derive the cash flows from derive the cash flows from the assets, and also derive price from the cash flows. So he likes me, he kept me, and he asked me to extend my internship until my graduate and give me the return offer.
great.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a nice experience at as Mike, and I stayed there for about, if you including the internship, it's got about 3 years. And in 2018, I moved to the Deloitte. So actually, I worked with the same team at Deloitte for about 2 years. We working very closely on the securitization. We call it risk retention projects.
But
Because,
John, how did you get the job at Deloitte? How did you?
yeah, that's what I want to say. Yes.
Okay.
Their recruiter come to me. The Deloitte HR recruiter come to me to say, hey, Deloitte is a really good company. Do you want to join us? But I bet you that team, they came to me because we worked very closely on the projects.
Oh,
Like,
with Mayak, you mean, when you were at Mayak?
right.
Yes.
Every year we gotta work together about like 20 projects. So they know me for 2 years, and they need some guy knows modeling and structuring at that time. So they just came to me.
And now that's a theme that I'm telling the student now with some of the project that they're working on, which is with third party, is that that's what you want. I mean, you were good and you were lucky in a way also, but you had this thing where you worked with them from a long time, so they got to see you. So there was no need to interview or send a resume, right? They already knew you already what you could do.
Yeah, they're trying to marketing Deloitte to me. So that's a very
That's what you want. That's exactly what we need. Yep.
Exactly. And that's also, I would like to share my experiences. Although Mayak or some company, they are not the master on the market, but you should find some position that you have the opportunity to talk to the people. So that's why we're always talking about the front office. We want to talk to the people. We want to talk to the client. That's also, you got the opportunity to show your, put your it's the same thing to put your resume in front of the others. And then maybe you got a chance to work with them in the future.
So you're at Deloitte. Okay.
Yep, I went to Deloitte, and it's a very short experience, but it's very good because Deloitte, they cover, I would say, above 60 to 70 the market share. So when you get there, you will be very busy, but you also get the exposure to all different kinds of asset type or deal types, and they kind of push you to be a very strong modeler and to working under a high pressure, but you still need to be a very detail oriented. So yeah, it's an interesting experience. And the same story happened again because
that's a theme. I know that. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so in 2018 October, I joined Deloitte, and in December I worked with Cantor Fitzgerald. They issued their first consumer ABS in December. And since that's the first time, they're not that kind of experienced. So we have a lot of back and forth on how we should structure the deal, how to review and rewrite the documents. And they like me because I kind of lead them how to do that, because I already have like 20 deals experience. So I know the step by steps. So it's a tough experience, but we have a good ending, right? The deal issued on the deadline, before deadline, and they upsized for the second round. So it's really a good deal. So, and later they are structurally, he moved to the trading side. So at that time, they need someone to lead the team to do all the structuring works and take the responsibilities on all the the analysis, structuring, modeling works. So they one day they just call me to ask me if
Again, you just sit there.
join them. But yes, and it's a little different story than the mic, because in Deloitte, they some kind of like you to move to the client side, because yeah, a lot of the people in the investment banking, in the securitization structuring desk, I would say 1/3 of them come from the same team, from this Deloitte team. So when I was in Deloitte, like 50% of the time I was working with the Deloitte alumni. So they know what's your work and they know what to do. So it's really a good experience. And they also want to see you to move to the client side so they can keep a good relationship with the client. That's interesting.
Wow.
So
It is.
when I moved there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So when I moved there, I know the head of the Cantor Fitzgerald's head of fixed income. He's a Lehigh alumni, come from the Deloitte securitization team. Interesting.
I need his name. I need his name. I need to get in touch with him.
I need to find out, but yeah.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know.
Yeah, definitely. So, Jem Bakula.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find him on the Cantor Fitzgerald's website.
Okay. He knows you, right?
Yeah, he knows me.
Okay.
So, yep. So yeah, Deloitte, they want to see us to come to the client side. So when I move, I believe everyone's happy. And also finally, I get the chance to, step into the real market, the investment bankings. And that's why I also want to talk about why we should, or why a lot of people want to go to investment banking. Not just about they got a high pay, or the reason is they are in the middle of the entire transaction. So if you only work in the investment banking, you have the chance to work with each parties within the deal. You know what I'm saying? When I was in Mike, I only work with Deloitte. When I was in Deloitte, I only work with the investment bankers. When I was in Cantor Fitzgerald, I work with rating agency. I work with Deloitte. I work with Mike. I work with the counsel, the internal counsel. I work with the investor. I work with the issuer, and also our internal, like the sales trading, compliance. Yeah. So then you can finally have a big picture, know what's going on in this market, and like what kind of position is available in each party, what kind of skills they need. And also you can start to think about what's your next step.
But so what is a skill? Because I mean, they didn't take you just because you're a good modeler, right? I mean, because now they bring you in the middle, so they must think that you're able to deal with different parties now, right? Because you said you're dealing with legal and you're in the middle of things. So what are the skill sets? What is it that they're looking for really to bring you into a role like that?
Yeah, so two things. First of all is this role is a structured role. So we need to do all the structuring work. Like we need to model the cash flows. We need to create the idea how to optimize the securitization structure. The key part of the securitization is you can reclassify or redistribute the cash flows from the underlying side to the security. So you need to know, you need to know each different asset types, and also you need to know what kind of structure is available, or you should have some creative ideas.
I need to understand the legal, right? The legal aspect of the transaction, right? As well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
The waterfall and all that.
Yes. And secondly, I believe they had a good time with me. That's why they think, okay, I have a good personality, so that's why they have me.
So that's a point I want to bring up as well, right? Because they saw your work, so they know that you know what you're talking about, but also the personality, I think, is important, right? That's something that I want to instill to the students, that just don't sit there and wait for people to give you something. You gotta, right? You have to be more outward looking, for
Yep.
them to know, because they had to believe. I know when I used to hire analysts, I mean, and again, like you, we're in the middle, right? So we were doing securitization as well, where we would, go to the law firm. So the way they would, I don't know if your deal was already structured cookie cutter, or if you were to actually negotiate the terms, right? So that the
Yep.
terms essentially need to translate into the structure itself to reflect exactly, and then someone needs to sell. So you need someone that, right? You need to be you need to be smart, but more than smart, you need to be what? A pleasant person to work with, because you're dealing with lots of different people,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think the most important thing is be professional. So no matter who you deal with, internally, externally, you need to be very professional. Like especially like the kind of those languages in emails or how to talk to the people. So I'm not an English native speaker. So a lot of time I was just, copy and paste the words from the other native speakers or the MD's words. So try to learn how do they think and how do they speak to the clients.
Yeah.
And next time I just, repeat their works.
Yeah, but you know what? And this is your strength, I think, because I've known you for like 2 years now. It's not so much the language skills, but it's because you say, "Oh, I don't speak good English, so they're not gonna like me." Or no,
No, that's not.
it's smiling. It's this country is a lot. You're gonna. I mean, I'm sure I saw
Yeah.
when I was working, we met a lot of people who were not native speakers, but if you're able to express yourself and smile, I mean, people, even if they don't understand you, you could repeat. You shouldn't make the language an issue, which I think some students do. Like they feel, oh, I don't speak it, they're not going to understand me, so they you don't want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think 100% of the graduates from Lehigh this program, they have good English.
Yeah,
They just don't realize it, and they shine to speak to the other people.
correct.
But, yes, and once you go to the, when they're in the school, they can just deal, like if I'm a Chinese, I can just only deal with the Chinese student, and I can just keep in the safe zone and speak my language, eat my food, do my cultural things. But when you go to the company, to the office, you have to speak English with others. There's no choice.
Yes.
So the environment will push you to be better and better and improve your language skills, the body language, smile to others, talk to others, to know what they are doing, even just chatting with them. Yeah, you will grow.
Okay, so let's talk about the technical side of things. So what do you think are the skills needed now? I mean, the technical skills.
Yep. So I'm not an expert on everything, but for the securitization, there are a couple of things. If you like a third-party valuation agency, okay, when I was in Mike, we heavily use Excel and VBA because these two things, they are included in micro office and they can't do everything. So it's very flexible. You can do whatever you want to do, and it's a kind of the industry standard. Whatever you send the Excel file to them, they can open and read it. So that's one thing is Excel. You need a very strong Excel skills. And also if you have a VBA skills, it's a big plus. Secondly, if you want to be a quant, I believe nowadays you need to know Python.
Yeah.
Or R. Yeah, and a lot of like the quant research, like we have a quant research team. They are doing a lot of research on the interest rate curves, or they are doing calculating the spreads on different products. So they need you need to know how to deal with the data, and do all the statistics models. And thirdly, what I call is what I'm doing, like the structuring side, the structure. So we have using a industry standard tool called the yield book, or sometimes the yield book, and also Intex and Bloomberg. So these three tools we are heavily using. They all have their specific code scripting language or something, and they are only when you're in this industry you will need to use them. But I would say my work is like in the middle of the regular finance and quant. So I do not need to do a lot of stats works or math works or calculus, not math work. I do math, but not calculus.
Yeah.
But we still need to be very like the sensitive to the numbers and logic thinking and know quickly learner. You need to know how to use those tools to get the results and do different scenarios analysis, because you need to know how to use it. They are not just Excel.
Correct. So, all right. So you like you say, you're not on the totally quant side.
Yep.
You're not a modeler, so you're able to find a niche in between. But you have to be able to quickly pick up on all these documents, these like in text and things that you're not going to be learning. And that's something that we do on some of our projects. I know some of the students are working with something called Splunk, for example, which is a blockchain-based program, and they will never learn that in the curriculum. So, and that's what I'm trying to instill to them, that it's okay, just learn new things all the time, even though you're not. Now, what do you think is going on in the industry as a whole? Like when you pull back a little bit, where are the opportunities? Because the hedge fund world, I don't know. I mean, people get the degree because they want to work for a hedge fund. They want to be a quant. But I'm not so sure there's lots of jobs there because they're getting hit a lot.
Yeah,
that's the feeling I'm getting, and I'm getting where the job is more in terms of maybe on the risk management side, on the data side. So, what are your views based on what you actually see, experience?
Yep. So, okay, considering my current the securitization market, it's very sensitive to the economics. So, like this year when the city shut down in the February late, right? The market crashing. Yeah, there's no deal issuing in things late February until April.
Okay.
It's totally frozen. So everyone trying to issue a deal, but it's just never happened. So it's very, the investment banking is very, they have a business circle related to the economics.
Of course.
So talk about the jobs, I would say, first of all, yes, risk management. It's a really big job market. You got liquidity risk, market risk, credit risk, right? Especially the market risk and credit risk, they are highly related to the securitization. So in this kind of position, they need real quants to do all the modeling works, build the internal, external credit risk model. They also need someone like us to know how to use the model. So back to the banks, like they have back office, like those, the MFE students, graduate students or PhD, they are building the credit models to help you to analyze, predicts what's the default rate and what's the loss given default on each asset types. But they also have the middle desk, which is the controller. They need to, like the valuation controller, they need to run the, the valuation monthly and yearly. So they need to know how to use those models, and at least they need to understand the basic idea of the models. So these two parts, I think, will be fit the MSFE program students.
Okay.
Besides that, I would say all the buy side, or the banking, the big four, the third party valuation agency, and also the rating agency. They need someone, not real quant, but to know the cash flows. You need to know the structuring. So someone like me. Yeah, and also in the rating agency, they also, or the buy side, they also, I believe, actually they do have their quant teams to build the internal models. Because we have deal with them, they will give us what is their thoughts or assumptions or the curves on the deals. So I believe they must come from their internal quant teams.
Yeah. Okay. I'm running out of battery. So the other question is, so are you here? Do you any rumbles? Is blockchain at all impacting what you're doing? Have you heard any?
Yeah. So not happening right now in my daily work, but I think it's gonna happen in the future.
Okay.
So Actually, already there are some Chinese banks, or even in United States, they have someone issued blockchain ABS.
Yeah.
In the ABS world, the one of the biggest problem is not everyone get the information at the same time. So every time when issuer send us the information, as a banker, we need to send to each parties. But when you have hundreds of emails, everything get crossed. So we always trying to bring everyone on the same page, but it's really hard to do that. But
Oh, you mean the deal, not so much when you're talking about, not so much for the creation of the deal, but the deal administration. Whenever you have new.
Yeah, like they have thousands of loans for each, each
okay.
deal. So each loan, they can be kick off, they can be modified, they can be, so it's really hard to, keep everyone updated. And we are still doing the email things,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
that's what
and even when the deal published, you can find that deal's information or historical payment information on the trustee website, but you can also try to find them on the Bloomberg or Intex. However, they never happen at the same time. They always cannot validate with each other. So yeah, if you got blockchain, it will solve this problem. And
we have started. Students have started work on a couple of blockchains projects already, on their own capstone, but really on their own projects. Like we have 5 or 6, and then we're going to be teaching a blockchain in a program. We're going to add. Let's say, what about quantum computing? Anything at all? Does this come to the radar yet? No, right? Quantum computing. Because soon what they're working on is basically we're going to be doing away with the bits, the 1 and 0s, and they have Google, for example, is coming up, is working on that very strongly, where it's going to speed, revolutionize the way. Dr. Luis Zulaga, he's working on that.
Okay.
And okay, so you haven't heard from it, so it's probably 5, 6 years down the line anyway. But that's going to change everything. So
I see.
We'll see what happens. Great. Well, don't take too much of your time. I want to thank you very much for those interesting insights. And good luck to you, whatever you do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Take care.
Safe.